it's just different ads that's not just about the physical fest, but like this whole thing about what we get beyond the fest, like, you know, the internships and the event training for youth, and the GCs being able to get their vendor they training so that they can bid to be able to get on the one of the general contractors to set up for next year. Like, we're talking about how can North Lawndale benefit not just doing the actual fest, but beyond the fest, like after the fest, what happens? Like, how is the Riot Fest going to be a true community partner, right? That it carries over until next year. And so it's a bunch of other stuff that they're talking about. But we wanted to make sure that they set aside the vending, and especially our alderman was very adamant about having the paid youth internships, you know, and making sure that our youth benefit. Because if black youth from North Lawndale don't benefit from the Riot Fest, why are we? It don't make sense.
So that's why I can answer your phone call. So be available when I leave out of here to pick up. Have a great one.
It's 312.
No.
Hey, man.
My hat.
Don't sound like not like 2023 beyond the fence. Riot Fest Rock.
Man, yeah, I need to see you up in there. Needed it, yeah, I'm knowing, you for real.
Are you recording?
2023, this is what unity looks like in your community. Beyond the fest, boxing out negativity. This is what we doing. Merging with the fest. This is what we need in our community. If you got the youth, you got the future.
Ladies. You're one of the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a little table right by the hole over there. Just check in with them and.
Thank you.
There's no signs allowed in the building. So there's a table right past that pole. Just go right check in with them. Come on. Wonderful. And yourself? Not even a third. Y'all got it.
Me? How did she just get let in and we got people?
She's a junior citizen with the award ceremony. That's what they told us.
Yeah, you guys have about 50 some odd people all total, and I think there's about 30 or something in it. You sign up to speak. You need to come in and sign up. Okay. Sign in.
Thank you, sir.
We didn't know we got a capacity limitation of how many people we can let in the room because it's not big enough. So that's why.
What about our people who signed up to speak?
If you sign up to speak, you're good. You signed up to speak. So there's 3 people who signed up to speak on behalf of supporting Riot Fest. Marcus is in here. He signed up, and Hector Escobar.
I just need to sign up. Again, I already have been accepted to speak. I just need to check in. Kurt Gippert.
And what was your issue?
Humboldt Park, the illegal structure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi, and you are with? No, you have to do it the Friday before. Yeah, I'm sorry. And you guys are with?
What did you say?
It's at max. So
Y'all done got too many people to show up and support. What's up?
that's what it's supposed to be.
Good. I guess it's a good problem, but they need to figure.
He's good. He's presenting today.
What if we swap some of the kids out?
Well, no, I'd rather them get the experience and be able to say when we had a press conference, and that's something that we can do. But I'd rather them have the experience and their voice be heard before ours. As long as they see the presence on the outside and the inside, I think that's a huge message to send the folks.
I got you. And I'll get y'all's perspective.
They pull mine.
So we're speaking. Yeah, and we got it.
And I guess what? Hey, you want me to do this? You want me to go in there with them, get some of what they saying?
There's a table up there. Let them know that you sign up to speak.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it.
Okay, perfect. Oh. What's going on, brother?
Thank you. Thank you.
signed up to speak?
The box?
No, he took some out. But he coming back to get us.
You guys coming in time?
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's go now. We got to fill it now.
No. George, you will not be able to fill the boardroom with just the Riot Fest support. You can't do that. It's only capacity for 8 people. We got reset here. We got people who sign up to speak. You can't do that. I'm trying to get an even number.
How is that happening?
We need
I don't understand that if we got here first, then we should have had access regardless of who's here. It says it's first come, first served. So are we deciding? How is it just her and I've been here the
Because she was already here.
No, she was not.
Yes, I was. I had to take
I'm sorry.
I can't let no one, you were here, if you want to go, go ahead.
It's okay.
I can't let both of you in.
We on the same side.
Okay. Can you wait a couple minutes? Can you wait a couple minutes?
She can take my spot.
No, I can't do that.
How come he came out and he's telling you that I could come in for him?
He said they're fine.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. You need my number?
Come on, baby. Okay, now the
Area manager.
On the other side, we have big promises from Riot Fest organizers, which they sound great, and I hope they happen for everybody, right? But the thing is, there is a need to, one, find a suitable location for Riot Fest. I'm not against Riot Fest. They have a great lineup, right? I love music. They need to move it to a more suitable location so there's no impact on access to healthcare. There's no impact on the patients in the hospitals trying to, heal. So that's what I'm here to speak about. And then the second...
30 seconds remaining.
Thank you. The second matter is that all this is showing that there is a lack of a due diligence process in place, initial due diligence process, when the city park district is putting these sort of events in the heart of communities. There has to be a collaboration with all the health and safety departments ahead of time. There has to be community input. They cannot just be placed. They have to say, what's the access to healthcare, fire department. There has to be a better assessment and a better process is needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, I am angry because we're not going to pretend that this was a good and fair process for everyone. This is a corporation with a lot of money and a sense of entitlement to people of color's public space. They have the money to pay people off, but for real, Riot Fest can continue to employ people who live near Douglas Park, continue donating to organizations, and also get the F out of our park. All this extra stuff is only happening because Riot Fest and the Park District could no longer ignore all the coverage that the community demands was getting. Even before this process in my conversations, it seemed like the Park District was bending over backwards to justify Riot Fest being in Douglas Park. It's been explained to us like we don't understand the business side of it. We get it. We are not strangers to being sold out and as marginalized people in the United States, so you don't have to explain that to us. We get it. Just do it somewhere else. Give us a break. When the process began, it was like adding extra steps, additional opportunities to harmfully engage with the community. Nelly who's standing over there, never even came close to apologizing for the harmful savior rhetoric of people being afraid to go into our park before Riot Fest. Who says that? It seems like we should expect offensive comments from Riot Fest people. And the tone policing rightfully angry people is also complete BS. Their most recent community meeting really pissed me off because Riot Fest refused to look at us. They refused to let us speak or look at one another in the meeting as we listened to all of the people whose pockets have been lined by Riot Fest. The question of when a festival was considered too unsafe to take place never got a response from Rosa Escareño. And everyone's pointing fingers at different departments on who's actually overseeing, so nobody actually holds Riot Fest accountable. This felt like the Park District was pretending to play mediator with the goal of getting community to stand down and get on Riot Fest's side. That is not fair and it is biased. It's a mistake to approve their permit.
Please make your closing remarks.
Thank you.
Derek Brown.
How you doing? I'm Derek Brown, founder of Boxing Our Negativity, a grassroots organization in North Lawndale. At Boxing Our Negativity, we work with the most high at-risk youth. And partnership with the Riot Fest means a lot to our community. It provides jobs for young men. It gets young men off the streets, you know, and, you know, just sitting down and meeting with the promoters of Riot Fest, they were just, the conversations that we had was like, they wanted to make North Lawndale their home. So with doing that, they was making a lifetime commitment with bringing resources to the community, to young men on the streets. We all see the news, how young youth go downtown and they tear things up. That's because these children don't have anything to do. But partnership with the Riot Fest has brought a lot of our youth together. It gives them jobs. It gives them something to do, but also it teaches them. So with partnership with them, it's not like just being the example. They're being the example setters by helping Boxing Out Negativity, which is a grassroots organization, and other organizations that's in the community, help build young men to give them something better to do other than, you know, destroy the community. And again, with Boxing Out Negativity, we are one of the biggest organizations in North Lawndale.
30 seconds remaining. But
most of all, we get some of the least resources that comes in our community. So we want to welcome Riot Fest for stepping up and, you know, taking charge of bringing resources that we have never got inside of our community.
Bring it on.
Thank you.
Commissioners, we've been here with you almost every month for the last 12 months to express our concerns centered in health and safety. We've been able to raise the community interest in how events are selected and placed in Douglas Park. In our advocacy, we've been pretty successful in helping to get those other 2 festivals moved out of the park. We've also been very successful in getting Riot Fest to pay attention to actually have an engagement of some sort, even though it's one-sided, with members of the community. They've made many a promise, and we want them to keep them all. These are my neighbors. I am not leaving Lawndale, and one of the things that we're not going to do, as I told my twin that's in here, we're not going to fight each other. When we walk away from this thing, when we walk out of this room, we're going to still love each other, and we're going to still be in Lawndale. I really do want to make sure that you are seriously taking advantage of the fact that the City of Chicago Department of Public Health has this publication, which talks about the state of black health in Chicago. In addition to that, I've referred to many times that I've come in front of you, and I encourage the audience members to do the same, is look at Healthy Chicago 2025. They want the city and the county and the state, they absolutely want to close the life health expectancy gap.
30 seconds.
Right now, we have black people have 8.8 years less of life expectancy in the city of Chicago. You must consider the health and safety component of not having access to hospitals that are designated quiet zones. The question is, are hospitals in black and brown neighborhoods entitled to the benefits of the City of Chicago's own ordinance that says the hospitals are quiet zones? Please respect the fact that there's a health and safety component to this matter, and we want you to delay or deny this application
We need to move on to
for
our
Riot
next speaker. Thank you, Ms.
to be in
Ferguson.
Douglas Park.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ferguson.
Marcus Betts.
Commissioners, board, Superintendent Escarino, President Hamilton, thank you for your work during this process. The North Lawndale community is on the verge of a breakthrough. With an unprecedented amount of focus and resources targeting our community, we have a unique opportunity to leverage this momentum. Part of that momentum is the attraction of cultural assets like Riot Fest. If we look at the development on Ogden Avenue, we've got over $200 million in the pipeline for development on Ogden Avenue. We need cultural assets to tether to that real development, brick and mortar, and thank you to our Alderwoman Monique Scott for spearheading much of that. But we need that cultural development in addition to the brick and mortar development to build our community. Community stakeholders including businesses, schools, aspiring entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and many others have met with festival organizers to build in the spirit of collaboration. The right model for engagement in our community didn't exist, so we had to create it. The Beyond the Fest model that you see on these shirts is a unique model that was built specifically for North Lawndale. What it does is it looks at the assets that are outside of the festival, investing in youth, preparing businesses for working and participating in the festival, among other things. Riot Fest might be, after having conversations with many stakeholders over the last few months, the right fest at the right time. Years ago, we struggled to dream big in North Lawndale. And now we have an opportunity to see what's possible. A world-class community, attracting visitors from around the world, and being known for something other than the negative things that we've traditionally seen in our communities. Why not? Why not North Lawndale?
That's right.
Festival owners have been, they've jumped through every hoop. They've jumped through every hoop.
Why not?
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Why not? Why not? So first and foremost, I would like to thank the Chicago Board members, Superintendent Art Richardson, Derek Faulkner, the Douglas Park Douglas Park Supervisor Angela Silas, and these people here. Because before now, you guys have never had a packed out room about an incident or about something that's going on. And I want to applaud everyone, even George Herrera, for coming out and making sure that he's actually engaging, which we were talking about 18 months ago, right? So I would just want to tell you guys thank you so much for allowing us to have a voice in the community. We even got our Alderwoman out, Alderwoman Scott. So this is really great. But what I will say is, as far as anything, we hate that you're leaving. But for transparency and willingness to adjust the rules and regulations that reflect 2023 versus 1953, right? And we know that this has need to change for a very long time. As well as our willingness to see change, where people from the community, as well as Chicago Park District employees, have said that coming to you guys and quote unquote complaining will get nothing done. And I want to say, as far as anything, thank you for proving them wrong, and thank you for being the trendsetters that you are sitting up here as today. Going above and beyond.
30 seconds remaining.
I ask that we continue to work in the areas that need some of our TLC and the policies that come with the Chicago Park District, such as permitting process, and the most important part, I think, is along with the redirecting of how funds are allocated. Because talking to Riot Fest, as well as other people, there is a discrepancy on how those monies are allocated, especially if you're going to come to our parks and do the things that they're doing. So I implore you, let's continue to have these conversations, change this paradigm, but I still have not been,
your closing remarks.
I still have not been convinced, even with all these things, once you put these new policies in place, everyone pops up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, President. Good afternoon, Superintendent, and the rest of the Park District Commissioners. Will the Riot Fest supporters please stand? It gives me great pleasure today to represent the 24th Ward, not only as an alderman, but as a resident of the 24th Ward. I have lived in North Lawndale for 51 years. I have lived on my same street since I was 13 years old. I am an invested member of North Lawndale as a property owner. I am creating a legacy by rearing my 15-year-old daughter in the same community I was reared. And from my younger days to now, I have been surrounded by a community with pride and hope. North Lawndale race and race of ethnicity, white is 3%, black is 93.3%, American Indian is 0.3%, Asian 0.2%, other race 2%, and Hispanic origin 4.9%.
I am up here defending my community from people that don't look like me. People who are not vested in my community. As I have been for 51 years. Where's the same outcry when we have these crimes in our community? So protesters, you're essentially opposing community development and growth. For decades, the norm in North Lawndale looked like a community filled with violence, crime, drugs, unemployment, and alcoholism. As a community, we have been overlooked and even undermined. However, these disinvestments have never stopped unity, and this is unity. North Lawndale is a hidden gem. It is positioned for a community with true revitalization and development with right investments. But regarding festivals, Riot Fest has helped move our community forward in the same way the festival has moved other communities forward in other parts of the city. Riot Fest is important to North Lawndale. Why? Because the festival shows North Lawndale in an entirely different light. It increases the visibility of our community that has nothing. It creates economic and employment opportunity for residents and businesses. And with thousands and thousands of visitors and tourists coming to a community, Riot Fest counters the stereotype that North Lawndale isn't a good place to live, work, or play. I love the community in which I live. And it took me some time. I wanted to speak freely, but I love the community I live in. As I stated, I've been there for 51 years. Something my father, the former Michael Scott Sr., who was also one of the presidents of the Chicago board, he stated to me, it's not where you're from, it's how you live. And he told me once, if I leave the community, I'm a part of the problem and not the solution. So I stayed. Simply, Riot Fest is tried and true to community and capital investment that helps and advance the growth of North Lawndale, which very much needed. But my request to the Park District is that the money made for these events, money made off of the events, that it goes to the area in which it serves. Pull those monies into the bigger Park District. And I am willing, as an elected official, to work with the Chicago Park District so that we can work with the state and our federal government, that we can allocate more money so that all of our parks are beautiful. This is not just a Douglas Park thing. I was an Park District employee. I love the parks. The parks is my home. And it goes beyond the parks. It's beyond the festivals. So I thank you for having me. I thank my community for being peaceful. Continue to have the people that are outside to be peaceful when we're leaving. Show respect. And that's all that I ask.
Thank you, Alderwoman Scott, and to all the speakers. I know that we have more speakers coming up, but one thing that I do want to say, as Superintendent Escareno and I have been having this conversation internally for some time, I too believe that when we have festivals in parks, in communities, that the majority of those proceeds should support that park in that community.
And then the last event up for vote today is Riot Fest. Riot Fest has an attendance max of 50,000 per day, and it's located in Douglas Park. This year would be the 11th year of this event. It is scheduled to take place September 15th through the 17th, with load-in and load-out intermittent closures from September 6th through the 21st. The projected revenue is $705,000. The community meeting took place April 6th at Learn Charter School with a virtual option. Approximately 300 people were in attendance. In addition, they have completed over 100 other meetings after that. First, I will go over the main concerns that were voiced at the original meeting, the actions that are planned that came out of that from that meeting, and then the meetings that took place at the hospital and the outcomes of the additional smaller meetings. Site build and park closures were brought up as a concern. The way that they will be addressing this is by reducing the total time in the park from 17 to 16 days. As in prior years, all playgrounds, artificial turf field, and running track will remain open. The tennis courts that were closed in prior years during Riot Fest are now going to be open to the public. There will be lawn signs that are placed around the park, perimeter noting the dates and the areas that are accessible during the load-in and load-out periods and during the event. The map on the slide was provided by the event organizers to display the usage areas. The blue areas will remain open and accessible the entire time of the event, while the purple, orange, and green are the event footprint with various closure dates and reopen dates. Noise was another concern that was voiced at this meeting. This is being addressed by a refined noise management plan. The plan includes directional speakers that are a line away from both the hospital and the residential areas, controlled dB sound levels by deploying an audio engineer at the front of the house booth to regulate dB, ensuring compliance with predefined sound limits. Having defined hard limit levels so the sound system will not surpass, thus preventing any unexpected volume surges. They'll be utilizing the latest PA beam steering technology for enhanced sound directionability. Audio engineers will be tasked in real-time noise monitoring within the festival, and then new this year, they will be deployed to the surrounding areas, enabling prompt adjustments. Traffic and parking flow was voiced as a concern. Riot is working with OEMC to have a set traffic plan. The plan focuses on reducing disruption for local institutions, such as the 2 hospitals, and the residents in the vicinity of Douglas Park. They will ensure emergency vehicle access by having collaborative routes developed for emergency vehicles. They will manage checkpoints with barricades and trained personnel and security at key checkpoints. There will be clear signage at key points and distribution of a traffic plan to the residents and hospitals. Resident parking only signs will be posted within a 3-block radius of the park. Defined rideshare pickup and drop-off are located at Ogden and Sacramento. There will be an increase in public transportation frequency. New this year, Riot is working on identifying an off-site parking location and shuttling concert goers. Riot will be allocating staff and vendor parking on Farrar Drive. They will also be engaging attendees with pre-event communication about traffic measures and promotion of off-site parking, rideshare, and public transportation options. Continuing with the concerns brought up in the original community engagement meeting included park cleanup. Riot's plan this year is to dispense additional trash containers around the surrounding neighborhood. They will add portable toilets outside the festival perimeter and near the hospitals. They will beautify and clean up after the event. Riot has moved many of the activations to be accessed on hard-packed surfaces and added more ground protection for vehicles and heavy foot traffic. Hospital concerns that were brought up in the original meeting will be addressed directly with the hospital leadership, in the later meeting. All attendees of the initial meeting were contacted via email, were given opportunities to address specific concerns on an individual or small group basis. An additional virtual community meeting took place on June 7th. Riot has held over 100 individual and small group discussions. They've actively been seeking feedback and meetings with community stakeholders after their original community engagement meeting. Riot, in addition, is planning on hosting a post-event community meeting. The meeting with Mount Sinai and St. Anthony's Hospital took place on March 29th. There were different concerns. Plans are being addressed in the following manner. A parking and traffic control plan is being constructed in collaboration with Office of Emergency Management and Communication, OEMC, Security, and the Chicago Police Department. There will be designated parking, staff and security personnel to manage the parking lot and traffic control to ensure hospital staff, emergency vehicles have priority access. There will be increased safety and communication measures. Riot Fest is offering each hospital $7,500 safety grant, free festival admission to working staff with current hospital badges. Riot will provide hospitals with a complimentary booth at the festival, and they will also have signage to direct vehicles and foot traffic. Riot Fest offers a variety of local community benefits. They will be hiring local benefits by partnering with local organizations. Canvassing will take place in August. They'll be hosting a local job fair. And new this year, Riot is having a paid internship program. not only to offer jobs to the youth, but to let them experience the inner workings of the event industry with this extremely unique opportunity. New this year, 3 musical artists will be selected from the North Lawndale and Little Village communities to perform. With this, they will not only receive a booking fee, but promotion on Riot Fest website and social media channels. Being part of Riot will also provide a unique networking opportunity for the local talent that is selected. Riot Fest has always worked with local vendors, but will be focusing on improving this plan this year. Similar in previous years, they are producing a neighborhood guide that highlights local businesses and restaurants. This guide in 2022 received 100,000 likes on Instagram and over 22,000 people looked up restaurants or businesses within the Riot Fest app. New this year, developed from feedback and ideas from these individual and small group meetings, Riot is focusing on making a vendor process a little bit better and creating a one-sheet handout for interested local vendors, including application and pricing information. Also new this year, developed from these meetings, they will be offering a community vendor workshop for interested local businesses. This will not only focus on Riot Fest, but how to best navigate and be a successful vendor at other events. Of the vendors that attend one of these workshops, 10 of them will receive a free booth at Riot. Additionally, not-for-profit organizations receive donated booth space. Also new this year, Riot is engaging different types of local vendors by having a barber shop to offer haircuts in the VIP guest area, a local floral shop, hairdresser, and makeup artist for their wedding chapel. Riot is shown to have community benefits outside of the festival. They've hosted an annual coat drive with Douglas Park Advisory Council, done holiday toy giveaways, donated turkeys to families in the surrounding communities, donated Easter baskets and candy to the Douglas Park Advisory Council. They've partnered with Safe Haven Foundation for their annual 5K run to end homelessness. They've given the opportunity of residents within 4 blocks to register for free tickets to Riot Fest. Last year, over 1,000 people took advantage of the free ticket program through the hospitals in the neighborhood. This year, these boundaries have been expanded to include even more neighbors. They've hosted merch fundraisers from Brave Space Alliance. They have a community area with activations from local businesses, organizations, schools, and art installations, along much more that I was unable to highlight during this presentation. With all of the feedback that Riot has received from the meetings, new this year they're expanding with their community benefits by launching a program called Beyond the Fest, where they will hold year-round initiatives empowering the community. Some of these initiatives include a Boxing Out Negativity, who you heard the speaker a little bit earlier. They'll be hosting a Juneteenth event. They will also be at the festival itself showcasing and having clinics. A Street Love Ride partnership. They'll be providing safety kits, volunteers, and interactive experience for youth. A mentorship program to connect local youth with industry professionals. Event and festival production, curriculum giving youth a comprehensive insight into event production. Riot Fest scholarships and grants funding for Village Leadership Academy and scholars pursuing music and art. They will be developing a music festival curriculum for Village Leadership Academy and Learn School. They're supporting the Bronze Mexican Heroes statue restoration. The Park District will be working with the organizer and with the community to identify a capital improvement beautification project within Douglas Park. And Riot has committed to hold regular meetings with local organizers and residents for feedback and alignment, thus ensuring efforts are in tune with the community needs. And this slide, we have all the listed letters of support that Riot Fest has submitted. I did want to point out that George from Riot Fest is here, one of the event organizers. Are there any questions that you have regarding Riot Fest?
I'd like to open it up for questions from the commissioners or comments.
I have a couple, not a question, but I think this is a very robust community support plan, and I appreciate all the effort that went into it. I also see that there's a lot of folks here community leaders from nonprofit organizations, many of the ones that are here, you know, I mean, the Chamber, Karina, from Instituto del Progreso Latino, Saving Foundation for Nelly Vasquez Roland, and quite a few others that are here that didn't get a chance to speak, and I understand that, you know, you came here with the intention to speak, but just want a reminder for everyone again that there's a formal process to sign up to speak for this, and so we want to follow that process. But appreciate all of you being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments, questions?
I'd like to make a comment. I mean, I read on the Riot Fest website that the organizers of Riot Fest are interested in making Douglas Park their home. And I think that what they've been doing and their engagement with the community is showing their commitment to making Douglas Park their home. But we need to see it. And so the way that we see it is going to continue after the fest into the year and in through the years. So, you know, I think that that's really one of the most important things, that we have to see it. So I'm very happy to see all of the mentorship programs that you've going, the engagement that you're going to continue to do with youth in the neighborhood. And so I'd like to see that happen not only in September, but in November and March and April and June.
I want to make a comment. Does anyone else? I want to give commissioners some opportunity. I'd like to make a comment before we move to vote, and just to briefly go back to the why behind the reason that as a board of commissioners, we decided to make the shift and the change to Chapter 7 of the code. And it was explicitly to encourage and require this level of engagement with the community. And honestly speaking, you know, community engagement means that you listen to understand, not to defend.
Yes.
So what I want to say is that there's a marked difference and improvement. And what stands out for me particularly are the opportunities for economic mobility within this community. Local hiring, local talent, local vendors.
I'm local.
And as part of this continuing engagement beyond the fest, I'm very encouraged there. What I will tell you is that I listen to all voices. Those that are proponents for and those that are against, right? That is a must. And I think there's a level of healing that has to happen to deepen this relationship. And the way that you heal is that you acknowledge.
There you go.
So if there's been disrespect, I wasn't here in the past. I can't speak to it. But I know what I have heard. And if that is the case, you acknowledge it.
Please.
You own it. And then you do better.
Yes.
And so in addition to looking to you, Riot Fest, to meet every single promise and commitment that you have made, we're also looking to you to lean in a deep way, as you've been doing with all community members, and to seek to understand. I think that is the recipe for deepening an authentic relationship.
That's true. Understood.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Will the secretary please take a roll call for adoption of the matter?
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Netsky. Aye. Commissioner Munoz.
Aye.
Commissioner Tully.
Aye.
Commissioner Walker.
Aye.
Vice President Baye.
Aye.
And President Hamilton.
I, with everything I just said.
Yes! Woo! All right. Thank you, CPD. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, God.
That concludes the board meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Hello.
Yeah. Job well done.
Yeah, Lord, yeah, Lord.
Now and forever. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Get back on the bus.
I got 2 grandsons, 15 and 6, and my daughter's a property home owner on 21st and Harding, and she's a police officer.
Great job, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah! Douglas! Level up, Douglas! We on it, Douglas!
Hey, get over here, sis. Y'all know what it is.
What just happened?
Hey,
so let me ask you, Mr. Charles, what you look most forward to with Riot Fest being passed this year?
I look forward to the internships that Riot Fest is offering our young people with a chance to learn about lighting, a chance to learn about all the festival jobs and employment, from ticketing sales to marketing.
They pay you well and take you out of town,
and take you out of Chicago, where you can be forgotten about.
How many positions is it?
They have many positions. They unnumbered. They're willing to take those who are able to work.
I got you.
From us.
How you all doing?
Peace in the community. Y'all know what it is. Peace in the community.
It is just a start.
It's just a start.
It's a beautiful start.
Yeah. Just a start. Just a start. Hi.
You with the boxing group?
Yes, I am.
Charlie Wojciechowski at Channel 5. You spoke at the event.
Yes, sir. Yes, he did.
First of all, your reaction to the news?
My reaction was it was amazing. Pretty much was well needed, well overdue, especially for grassroots organizations, for attention to start going to them, to bring resources, to bring to our children, so we can give them something great, make our children great.
You see this as a kind of new beginning for North Lawndale?
I see it as a great beginning for North Lawndale. I always see the benefit from it. But now, local people from the community is being involved. They're getting exposed to something. They're getting exposed to a new life. Jobs, through internships, performing on stage.
Yes.
A lot of youth dreams about to start coming true. Right here in North Lawndale.
So you're looking forward to something?
I'm definitely looking forward to
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys. Shut up.
Let me get that group.
Come on.
Yeah, get that
You know we can always, do you know we can always forward you those pictures? Right. Unity.
This is what unity looks like in the community.
Those are things that they need to know. And working with that and working with those community groups, the Riot Fest, I think that would be really impactful to my community. And it warms my heart to see the support that I had today and that they had, and it's an amazing feel today. No, it was great. Thank you. Yeah, 2 for 1. Yeah, because guess what? Everybody can't be in front of the camera. They have an impact that they can show you. That you can hold the camera. You can move. This is a career.
Yeah, certainly is.
Great money. I want my youth to experience that same thing.
Check your tax
That's right, I checked. Give me $5.
Well, first of all, what's your role with this? Because I've seen you for some years.
Just for years. As a stakeholder, it's one of those things where growing up right next to the park, being invested in what happens in our community and seeing an opportunity for us to build and grow. And quite frankly, I'm really interested in art, culture, and my father, Elbert Betts, Elbows Barbecue, It used to produce concerts in North Lawndale 40, 50 years ago. So, you know, I grew up kind of seeing that. So I think it's a unique opportunity for us. And, you know, I'm always supporting the arts and culture in our community.
We're asking Monique today about all of the hard work and support she's been for everything that's happening to our community and beyond the Riot Fest. I just want to kind of give her the opportunity to give us a little bit of follow-up of what she felt like representing the 24th Ward and North Lawndale. She really showed out for her community and us and our self-interest today, so we're really grateful for her and we want to get her perspective.
So my Beyond the Fest committee consists of Marcus Betts and Danita Robinson. We could not have done this without us. They were very impactful. I cannot take all the credit. I was the spearhead behind it. They were the implementers, and they did their thing. We showed up and showed out today. The 24th Ward led with hope. We led with unity. We led with example. We led with professionalism, and we got the job done. Job done. Job well done, 24th Ward, North Lawndale.
Yes, ma'am.
Job well done.